Welcome to Bloomington Today. I'm Kaylin Cockrell. Thanks for joining us. The unofficial results are in. Tuesday, November 8th was the general election for several city offices, including mayor, council member at large, and council members for District 3 and District 4. Mayor Gene Winstead has been reelected for a 4-year term. 7,310 voters cast their ballot for Mayor Winstead, while opponent Hans Anderson received 3,691 votes. For council member at large, Tim Bussey was elected with 5,653 voters citywide. Mike Lehman received 4,591 votes. Jack Beloga was elected as council member for District 3. He received a total of 2,048 votes, and his opponent, Russ Burnison, received 1,013 votes. Vern Wilcox was reelected as the City Council representative for District 4. He was running unopposed and received 1,345 votes. If you're interested in learning any more about the general election, visit the city's website. The first flurries are expected to fly any day now, and that means city snowplow operators are brushing up on their skills to ensure they're properly equipped to dig out Bloomington once the snow begins to fall. Welcome to the Bloomington Snowplow Rodeo. Every year, plow drivers, both old and new, gather at the city's Western Maintenance site for the roundup. And as you can see, this isn't your typical rodeo.
The Snowplow Rodeo course is designed to give the drivers an opportunity to refresh their skills driving a plow truck, specifically with the front plow and the wings that extend beyond what a normal truck is. So it gives them a chance to go through the course and remember how to drive and be careful of that wing that sticks out on the side of the truck.
The rodeo course not only tests existing employees' skill levels, but also assists with teaching new employees how to drive and plow. Drivers must avoid parked cars, monitor their plow attachment, and maneuver a Crazy 8 course, complete with dingers.
The idea of these dingers is it's a piece of rebar that's bent. And the idea is that when you come by with the plow, that you just touch the dinger and make it spin. That means you're close enough to the curb or close enough to the object with the plow, hopefully without knocking the whole dinger over, which means you went too far and you have now caused some kind of damage. So it's a way for us to gauge how close the drivers are getting to curb lines.
Drivers are guided through the course once, then sent through, where they'll then be timed and scored. MnDOT uses a simulation obstacle course for their drivers, but according to Eiler, there's nothing like the real thing.
You cannot replace actual driving a truck and having that wing out there and the controls in your hand. So this is real life demonstration, real life activity for the guys in a controlled setting without being in the public.
I even took a turn at the obstacle course, and let me tell you, snowplow drivers deserve a lot of credit. Parked cars seem to disappear when you get near them. You have to be aware of several plow components at once while keeping a lookout for mailboxes, curbs, and other obstructions. Eiler agrees and said that everyone stands to benefit from the training offered to drivers through Bloomington's Snowplow Rodeo.
The employees benefit because they get a chance to sharpen their driving skills. The city benefits because we have a better quality driver out there, so we have the potential of less damage, particularly turf damage. Trying to find curbs is difficult, so that's less things that we have to fix in the spring. The residents benefit from it because we have a better plowing service set. We do a better job of plowing the streets.
It's events like the Snowplow Rodeo that prepare drivers for all types of winter weather situations. Another Bloomington trail restoration project is coming to an end. Let's take a look at how in just a few short months, the trail along Bloomington Ferry Road has been improved. City staff designed construction plans for improving just over a mile of trail along Bloomington Ferry Road from Pioneer Trail to 106th Street. The project consisted of removing the existing 8-foot wide deteriorating trail surface and constructing a new 10-foot wide trail. The retaining wall at the intersection of Pioneer Trail and Bloomington Ferry Road was replaced, and the once steep hill connecting the tunnel that goes under Bloomington Ferry Road is now a more gradual slope. The tunnel is now a paved surface rather than gravel, and new grass is expected to start sprouting any day now. City engineers tell us that a few punch list items are left to be completed, but otherwise the trail is ready for use. This project was paid for as part of the Pavement Management Program. The time has finally come, and on Saturday, November 12th, the Works Kids Museum will open its doors to the public at its new location here in Bloomington. Our crews were on hand as local leaders and Works staff gathered to officially introduce the Works to Bloomington.
And I think what the Works is going to be doing going forward is really presenting engineering and mechanics and science to young people as it comes forward. And you never know that there could be an inspiration given at that point in time, that maybe we'll see somebody with some innovation, and maybe we will create a new Medtronics coming forth, and maybe it's that generation that will help us just prosper and go forward from here.
This nonprofit engineering discovery center recently outgrew its space in Edina and made its new home in Bloomington. And on November 4th, local representatives gathered at the new site at 9740 Grand Avenue, and like many components of the museum, even the building dedication was done creatively, and staff participated in a bridge-breaking ceremony rather than your typical ribbon cutting.
We do this activity with students that come into the Works, and they get very excited, so we start the countdown with 1. 2, 3, 33, 34. Oh, wow, look at that. There we go. Right there. Very nice.
Be sure to tune in to next week's Bloomington Today, where we'll take a tour around the new facility and find out what Bloomington residents can look forward to with this new, larger space and a more extensive variety of exhibits. It's now time for a short break. When we come back, we'll be joined by Bloomington Fire Chief Yuli Seal to discuss Winter Hazard Awareness Week. Stay with us.
It's about security, it's about safety, and it's about keeping MSP International convenient for all travelers. Cars may not be stopped, parked, or left standing unattended at the curb. Less congestion means we have better control over the security of the airport. It's a law we enforce for the safety and the satisfaction of our guests. On average, 100,000 people travel through MSP International every day. It takes cooperation by everyone to keep our airport running smoothly. By keeping the curbs clear, we can help keep everyone safe and on schedule. Be aware, be vigilant, and be safe.
Welcome back to Bloomington Today. We are now pleased to welcome Fire Chief Yuli Seal with us. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Well, the week of November 7th through the 11th is a very important awareness week. Tell us what that is.
It's Minnesota Winter Hazard Awareness Week. And for each of the days during the week, there's a series of subjects that they kind of highlight for those days. All surrounding winter hazards and awareness of those hazards, and then keeping yourself safe.
Okay. Well, obviously in Minnesota, winter is a long season, and we want to make sure that residents are aware of what to look for and what to make sure that they are prepared for. So we're going to go ahead and talk about each of the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. Each has a different topic, like you said. The first day is November 7th, and winter weather is that topic. Tell us about what you would kind of impress upon in residents about winter weather.
Key to that is the different kinds of winter weather and what they mean: ice storms, blizzards, sub-zero temperatures, winter weather watches and warnings, wind chills. And those things, you'll typically hear the weather person talking about them on your nightly news or your morning news. And they're important to pay attention to because it gives you a good insight on how you need to prepare for the day. And typically people get into trouble on those severe wind chill days and below zero days, when exposed flesh can freeze or frostbite very, very quickly. And so those injuries that emergency rooms and doctors tend to see happen on those severe weather days. The other, of course, is ice storms and blizzards. Ice storms are issues with slips and falls. Blizzards, obviously, large amounts of snow and blowing snow. But more significant with ice storms and being prepared is that there's the real potential you can lose power. And when your power goes down for a period of time, if people aren't prepared for that eventuality, it can impact you. So,
what types of things would you suggest people keep on hand to prepare for an ice storm? I guess I didn't know that power could go out from that.
Yes, flashlights, battery-operated radios, so they can get information, because your television won't work, your cable won't work. In many cases now, people's house lines or their telephones won't work, because most phones now aren't the old rotary dial type, but they actually plug into the wall. So if that main transmitter loses power, even though the phone itself may have a charge on it, it won't get out to your landline. So making sure that you have an ability to charge your cell phone, or keeping your cell phone charged, because that may be your only way to contact 911.
Okay. All right. Well then, Tuesday, November 8th, we have outdoor winter safety. What kinds of things are we talking about with that?
For us, in emergency management and fire rescue, safety on ice is a big topic, because once the water starts freezing, the anglers like to get out and push their limits on ice. Snowmobile safety, not only on the trails and the paths, but also when they're snowmobiling out on lakes. Very easy for snowmobilers, especially after dark, to hit spots of open water. Hypothermia or cold injury and frostbite, kind of related to the first day that we talked about. But hypothermia is when you get very, very cold and your body starts to shut down and you start to lose a lot of your cognitive functions, and you'll do kind of crazy things. So maintaining your body core temperature in the winter is very important. And where people get into trouble with that is when they're outside working very hard and they work up a sweat, and then all of a sudden they're not working as hard, and then they start chilling down and getting cold very quickly. And there's stages of hypothermia, and once you get past the shivering stage, if you haven't done anything to warm up and you suddenly stop shivering and you're starting to feel pretty fine, that's a danger sign.
Okay, all right. Well then, on November 9th, we have winter fire safety, something I'm sure you're very well versed in.
That is something we do worry about, yes. Holiday fire safety. Key to that is alternative heat sources. People do things to provide alternative heat.
The little space heaters.
Space heaters can be very problematic. Some people also think that turning on their ovens or stoves and opening the doors on them to provide additional heat, that's a real safety problem, not only from a fire hazard perspective, but also if it's a gas burning appliance from a carbon monoxide perspective.
Okay.
So making sure your smoke detectors are working, making sure that you're cooking safely. If you use candles, making sure that candles are not left unattended. I'm not a candle fan, but if they do use them, make sure they're not left unattended.
Okay.
And then very taking much care on how you decorate. So many times people put a lot of holiday decorations up, and then they either use candles with those decorations, or they hang combustible decorations over a fireplace, or they, et cetera. So
yeah, like stockings over the fireplace. What about overloading your circuits, or not your circuits, but your switch plates? Putting in 16 plugins of lights and tree and this and that.
Yep.
Can that be a hazard?
Can be a real hazard. Generally, we tell people that they should not plug in any more appliances than your outlet has outlets for.
Okay.
One of the issues, of course, is that for these short-term events, that people plug in an extension cord with multiple outlets and overload those outlets, as you said. That can be problematic. I know people do it, so and I know that they'll listen to the warning and kind of blow it off. So the key here is that don't leave the home with that stuff plugged in, and certainly don't go to bed at night with all that stuff plugged in.
Okay.
Unplug it when you're not using it. If you're using it while you're on scene there or on site there, that's one thing, although it's still not recommended.
Okay. And then on November 10th, we had the Indoor Winter Safety Day. What, I guess we kind of touched on some of those things right now.
Carbon monoxide is a big issue in the winter months. Not only from malfunctioning furnaces and water heaters, but people will also make a real common mistake as far as putting their car in the garage, having their car in an attached garage and starting it up and letting it warm up. And what happens is that carbon monoxide will travel from an area of low concentration to an area of higher concentration. So, excuse me, from higher concentration to lower concentration.
Okay.
So carbon monoxide, as it builds up in the garage, will migrate into the house, even if the door is closed.
Okay.
So that becomes an issue as well as the malfunctioning appliance. So we recommend that everybody have operating carbon monoxide detectors, that they got fresh batteries in, and then if they get an alarm on their carbon monoxide detector, call.
Okay. All right. And then finally, the last day of the Winter Hazard Awareness Week is November 11th, and that is winter driving is the focus. And as Minnesotans, we all know that it can be treacherous at times.
Yes. Safe driving, and typically what happens, especially with the first couple of snowfalls, is people are still driving like the streets are dry. So you want to make sure that your following distances and your braking distances are adjusted for slippery and snowy streets. Giving snowplows wide berth,
Yes.
allowing the snowplows to do their job, don't get in a snowplow's blind spot. Aware, especially like last winter where we had a lot of snow build up, that those snowbanks build up and people will tend to creep out of those intersections because they can't see very clearly. So taking appropriate precautions at intersections and at the end of driveways, and having a survival kit in your car, so that if you do break down and you do get trapped, every winter you see places where there's blizzards or sudden snowstorms, and what happens is people get trapped in their cars, and if they don't have a survival kit, it can make it difficult.
Absolutely. And a survival kit, we're talking blankets, something to eat.
And ideally something to eat, snacks, blankets, flashlight with good batteries in it, some kind of a red flag or bandana that you could tie onto your, or hang out your window, or tie onto your radio antenna to alert people that you got an issue. And also, since most people, their cars or vehicles are parked outside for extended periods of time, having liquid in the car can be a little problematic, and having a way to melt snow for some drinking water if you're stuck for a long period of time.
Okay. Well, great. Well, we'd like to thank Fire Chief Yuli Seal for being here with us today. It's now time for a short break. We'll be right back.
I'm Gene Winstead, Mayor of the City of Bloomington. I'm really excited about a collaborative between the cities of Bloomington, Richfield, and Edina, in partnership with Blue Cross Blue Shield. Everything we do in the planning and development of our city, we can keep in mind different ways to allow people to live healthier lives. The initiative is Dewtown, and we're looking for the help of all of you.
Let me see you shake that body. Come on and rock that body. Let me see you get down. Everybody move your body. Let me see you shake your body. Come on and rock that body. Let me see you move something.
This is fine. Thanks.
Welcome back to Bloomington Today. Well, November is a great time to be outdoors in Minnesota, and just because summer is behind us doesn't mean Bloomington parks are less beautiful. In fact, the quiet fall serenity is the perfect time to take a refreshing hike on one of Bloomington's many trails. One of the best ways to explore the parks year-round is step by step, by heading out for a hike on one of Bloomington's many extensive trail systems. A naturalist at the Richardson Nature Center explains why nature in Bloomington is so exceptional.
Bloomington is a really unique typography. We're in what's called a terminal moraine. It was what was pushed here and left here from a glacier. And so that's why we had this amazing, hilly, beautiful land with these pocket ponds all over the place and wonderful little wetlands and places for animals to have really wonderful homes to be in.
Area hiking trails wind through woodland, grassland, and wetland habitats, and if you're a hiker just starting out, don't worry. The Three Rivers Park District offers a program called Trails at Your Pace, featuring short, gentle trails for all kinds of people.
Trails at Your Pace is all about efforts that Three Rivers is doing to make sure that there's some trail identified in as many park locations as we can that is really good for that novice person, for that person who maybe hasn't been out walking a bunch. Maybe they're a little unstable on their feet or have some limited mobility issues.
Highland Park Reserve also has a tool available to hikers to help residents get the most out of their activity.
On a daily basis, you can come out and just with your driver's license or a state ID, get these, and there's no cost for these. These are some Nordic walking poles, and they really help with getting your aerobic fitness in for the day by incorporating your upper body into the walking motion. It also helps to alleviate some of the stress for someone who might have some lower back issues or some knee issues. You can distribute the effort that's needed to maybe go up a hill by incorporating your upper body, which really can be helpful to getting a better all-body workout and reducing some of the stress in some of those joints.
And don't think Richardson Nature Center closes its doors for the winter.
We rent snowshoes here. You can come and do any of these trails all winter long. You can also just come out and play. And playing is a great way to get your activity in. And sometimes it's hard to remember that. If you have kids at home and they're bugging you and they're getting a little bit of that cabin fever, come out to Richardson. We have a wonderful building where you can be inside to explore some things and then plan on spending some time outside.
And as it's getting dark out much earlier this time of year, the fall hiking lights have been turned on at Highland Lake Park so hikers can feel more comfortable walking after dark. For a complete guide to hiking and biking trails around Bloomington, visit the city's website, keyword search hiking. Now it's time for another segment of Bloomington Today's Arts at the Plaza. The current exhibition is a bit different than other displays featured at Civic Plaza. Take a look. Running from October 27th to December 2nd, residents can view the annual Members Juried Art Exhibition at the Inez Greenberg Gallery located on the first floor of Civic Plaza. This exhibition asks that members of the Bloomington Theater and Art Center submit up to 2 pieces of artwork, which were then juried in or out by Lindell King, a prominent member of the local arts community. This year, there were 238 pieces of art submitted by 136 artists. King selected 87 pieces to represent 87 artists. Of those, 13 pieces were selected to win awards. Best of Show went to Douglas Trigo for his oil painting, Amish Garden Farm. Bloomington Civic Plaza is the site of not only 1 but 2 gallery spaces, and in the Arts at the Plaza segment, we'll be sure to keep residents informed on what art exhibitions are moving in as each gallery turns over. The days are getting shorter and the temperature is dropping, but that doesn't mean you can't still enjoy healthy, locally grown fruits and vegetables. The Bloomington Farmers Market has moved indoors for the last 2 events of the season. Stop by Civic Plaza on Saturday, November 12th and Saturday, December 10th from 9 a.m. until noon to shop for a variety of fall produce. Items in season include apples, squash, onions, potatoes, and carrots. Both markets will include baked goods, honey, maple syrup, jams, and a variety of arts and crafts. So be sure to stop by and grab a locally grown item to top off your Thanksgiving meal. Bloomington Public Health has teamed up with the Tri-City Partners Coalition and developed a manual for parents to walk them through how to talk to their kids about drugs and alcohol according to their age. This educational tool, Raising Drug-Free Kids, Advice by Age, offers facts about alcohol, tobacco, and drugs, then guides parents through how to promote healthy living while encouraging drug and alcohol-free lifestyles from children ranging in age from preschool all the way to college aged. The guide offers a list of conversation starters geared towards engaging conversation with kids, several online prevention resources, and a family prevention agreement for both the parents and the kids to agree on and sign. This guide is available to residents on the city's website. Log on and keyword search advice to download your copy of the Raising Drug-Free Kids Advice by Age. Bloomington Human Services recently announced the winners of the second annual poetry contest. There were 54 entrants, all ages 50 and older, or a person with a disability, submitting 100 poems in total. According to the judges, the quality of the contest entries were exceptional. Prizes were awarded for first through third place, while 5 honorable mentions were also included. Congrats to Chet Corey for his poem Gravy and Soup. All of the winning poems and honorable mention poems are up on the city's website. Just log on and keyword search poetry. And that's all the time we have for today. To get more information on city projects, parks, road construction, and events, visit the city's website. To check out past Bloomington Today shows or other city productions, visit Bloomington's YouTube channel, accessible right from the city's homepage. That and so much more is online right now at www.ci.bloomington.mn.us. If Facebook or Twitter isn't your thing, sign up for eSubscribe to have updates sent right to your email or cell phone. This is Bloomington Today, a presentation of the City of Bloomington's Communications Division. I'm Kaylin Cockriel. Thanks so much for being here.